to do our More About It Monday, and I'm not sure if I'll see comments. I hope I do. Alright, so this is kind of close, but that's as far as my poll will extend. So when you order your mini, that's what we're talking about today, your mini Stampin', Cut, and Emboss. It's going to come in a separate box, and this one's about 5 pounds. And so it'll probably come separate from the rest of your order, just so you know. This one actually is going out to one of my customers, or one of our friends, Sharon. She's going to get this long-awaited mini cut and emboss. So when you get your mini cut and emboss, I've got my big one over here. I'm going to move it out of the way so it doesn't try to steal the star of the show, because this is the star of the show today. Is our little mini, and you can, well, I guess you can see it opens up like that. It comes ready to use. You don't have to add the, put the, like with the bigger one. I guess I'll bring it back in here just so you can see the difference in sizes. The bigger one you have to put the crank on, but the little one, the baby one, you don't have to do that. It's awesome. It comes ready to use right out of the box. But I will tell you that the plates, the sandwiches that you use, and what a sandwich is basically your stack of plates, how you stack your plates, that's your sandwich. If you think about bread, meat, and cheese, that's like a sandwich. So that's what we call it, a sandwich. So the sandwiches for this machine are different from this machine. So if you get this little machine here, the Stampin', Cut, and Emboss Mini, you are going to be a little confused at first, because you're going to think, well, it's not working. What's wrong? It's nothing wrong. It's just different. So let's look at some of the differences. Now with the big guy here, when you want to cut, you normally will use the sandwich of 1, 2, and then a 3 plate, and then you'll put your die, your cardstock actually, and then your die, and then another 3 plate. Okay, that's how you cut, and I don't have to run it through because you believe me, right? That's how you would cut for the big guy. But for the baby, or the mini as we call it, the darling sweet little mini, you don't need all that. You just need 1. There's the 1. There's not another thin one like this one has. This one, when you're cutting, you need the base and then the thin one here. You don't, this takes the place of these two here, okay? So with the mini. So you're gonna put your 1, and then your 2, then your cardstock, then your die. Hope I'm in camera here good. And then another 2, which is your clear acrylic plates. And then you're gonna run that through. Now this is a 3.5 inch, hold on, I don't have them lined up good. That's why it's not cutting. I'm like, why isn't it cutting? All right, so this is a 3.5 inch piece of paper. Okay, and I'm gonna send that through, hopefully. And then there's my cut right there, and it cuts beautifully, as you can see. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, so that's the cutting. 1, 2, and 2, and I apologize for the struggle. I'm not sure. I think it's because I'm reaching so far out here that I can't really get a good grip on it. So 1, 2, and 2 is for cutting with your cutting, and then for embossing, you're going to need, now you know we have two different thicknesses of embossing folders, and they do make embossing folders just for this machine. Now this particular one is retired from the holiday catalog, so, but it's the only one I have to show you right now. But these are really good for smaller pieces of you know, things that you want to put on your card. So I'm going to use this one. This is a 3 1/4 by 6 inch piece of cardstock, and this is actually what we call a regular embossing folder. Now we do have the thick ones, the 3D ones, so that's where this comes in. Depending on whether this is a regular embossing folder or a 3D embossing folder, you're going to use one or the other one of these. Now one is thicker and one is thinner. This 3 and 4, 3 is thicker. So you kind of have to think, if you're making your sandwich, which you'll do, and here's the picture, you want your 1, that looks familiar. You want your 1, and remember your 1 this is different from the big one, so don't even think about the big one and how it works. This is how you're going to do the little one. So this is a thinner embossing folder, so you need the thicker plate. If you have the thicker embossing folder, you need the thinner plate. So so just remember, thin embossing folder, thick plate. Thick embossing folder, which is the 3D folder, you need the thin plate. And am I even in camera? Probably not. So I have to stick my arms out there. All right, well, let me go over that again because I can see that I'm not in camera. All right, so you have, these are your 2, 3 and 4 you use for embossing. 1 always, okay, 1 always for embossing. 3 and 4 for embossing. So we have the 2 kinds of embossing folders. We have the regular, which is thinner, and the 3D, which is thicker. All right, so this is a thicker plate, which goes with the thinner regular embossing folder. The thinner plate goes with the thicker embossing folder. That way you'll end up, they'll be the same width. Thin with thick, thick with thin. And that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to put this on my 1. See, with this one, let's see, that's for die cutting. It doesn't tell you. I guess here's where you can read on here. So you have 1, which we do right now, then the embossing folder, which is the regular one, 3 and 3. And then if I have it lined up right, it is going to go right through there, just like that. Okay. And then you'll have this beautiful, beautiful, isn't that gorgeous? So if you just need a smaller one, you could use this. Now here's something you might want to think about. You can actually use these plates in the big machine, as long as you kind of do it the way the machine tells you. So if you were going to do cutting on this, you would want, what am I thinking here? Okay, so if you were going to do cutting, you would do that, then you would do your 2, because remember this takes the place of the 1 in the little machine. So you would do your 2, then your cardstock, then this, and then your other 2 on top. So basically you have this instead of your 1, and then this will go right through here, just like this. So you don't always have to use your larger plates if you're just doing a little thing like this, rather than having to, you know, maneuver these larger plates in there. You can always just use your smaller plates. And they kind of slide in and out real easy. Less trouble, just, you know, run them right through. Okay, so that is just a little something for your, and then also with the embossing folders, you can use these embossing folders in the big machine just like you would the big one. You just use them the same as you would the bigger embossing machines. Okay, I hope that's not been confusing. I hope that hasn't been too confusing. So here's our baby back, our mini. And one thing I need to tell you about these dies, you may not be aware, and I'm not seeing comments, so I'm going to switch this around and see if I see some comments. Hopefully I'll see some. Okay, hi Pat. I see your comment now. If you look in, this is the annual catalog here, our big annual catalog. You will see this mini sign here on a lot of the dies. And what that means is that all of those dies will fit through the mini machine. If you don't see, that means that there's one die that will not fit through the mini machine. Although I'm looking at this, I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because of the long one here, but these all fit. So anytime you see that purple little mini sign, it means that those dies can be used with the mini. And see, here's these dies here. You probably recognize those. Now, so our current club create kit that we're doing, which is the art gallery stamps, these beautiful stamps here. These dies, you'll see, in this one it's green, but it says mini right there. So that means you can use all of these, will fit in your mini. You just have to make sure your paper is no more than 3.5 inches wide when you run it through. So this is, I think, you know, you might think I don't need one of these because I got the big one, and you're probably right, you don't need one, but it's handy, it's lightweight. You can have it at the side of your crafting table. You don't have to lug a heavier, oh my goodness. This machine, I think, is almost like three times, if not 4 times as heavy. So if you're just going to do some quick crafting, this is something to have fun to have at the edge of your crafting table to grab and use and be, you know, be on your way. And it's portable, so if you like to go to friends' homes and do some crafting, this would probably fit in a tote bag for you. So that's another reason to get it, even though you don't need it, right? Okay, so I see we have Pat and Kay and Maria. Thanks for joining me, guys, and everyone that joins me later. So this is in the, this is available now. It is in our mini catalog, the January to June mini catalog. If you don't have one, let me know. I'll send you one. It's good through June 30th, 2021. And what page is it on? I don't even know. Well, it's in this. It's in the annual catalog too. So should have checked that out. Huh? What? Kate, which, where are you? Let's see. This has an index in the back. It is Stampin', Cut, and Emboss, page 170. Well, it should be near the dies for sure, right? Okay, 170. Here goes. Page 170 of the annual catalog. Here's your baby, the mini, and here's the big one. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope so. And thanks for watching.